Indiana Jones, which, as you can see, this is the Adventure Collection. So, alright, here we go. Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark is a 1981 film that was directed by Steven Spielberg, and the plot of this movie is we meet Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones, who is a guy who goes out and he digs up artifacts and various treasures. This one case, he is desperate to find this one very prestigious and important bit of treasure. Him along with this woman from his past, Marion. But the thing is, they're not the only ones looking for this bit of treasure. The Nazis, yes, Hitler himself, wants this as well. Now, what I think of Raiders of the Lost Ark is, I love this movie. And I know this is probably the point in the review where you expect me to say, I grew up on this, I've seen this so many times. I can't do that. Because, yes, I know, this is the very first time that I'm watching Indiana Jones. Now, look, I'm not going to pretend like I've never seen any parts of Indiana Jones. I remember seeing various scenes or random times when it was on TV. I might catch parts of it, but I've never, ever, until right now, sat down and watched the whole thing front to back. I know. Sometimes I can have excuses or I can have my own reasons for why I haven't seen certain movies from the 70s and 80s, but really there's no excuse with Indiana Jones. Harrison Ford not only being known as Han Solo, but then going off and being Indiana Jones, and these two characters being so cool, but yet so different in their own right. Wow, that's awesome. I love this character, especially watching this and seeing that he's like a professor, and you see him teaching classes. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. And I love how into he is looking up these artifacts and treasures. I mean, I can't say I'm into every movie that's about digging up treasure and stuff, but as into it as he is, and as much as this is his life, you get into it, and you look forward to seeing what is actually in these cases when you open them. And this also takes place, the story takes place in 1936. Something else I wasn't expecting. So when you see that the Nazis, too, are looking for these same artifacts, it makes it cool, it makes it different. I mean, I'm not saying that the villains were overly memorable, but they're Nazis, so you hate them. You have that woman, Marion, like I said, who I liked. She could have been the damsel in distress, and I'm not saying she never got kidnapped, because she did, but she was capable. I mean, there were moments where like she was willing to grab a frying pan and hit guys over the head that were trying to come after her. Well, later on, when she's in that plane and she's using the gun on it to kill a bunch of people, like, she was badass. I like that. And also, how many iconic things have come from just this first movie alone? Because like I said, I might have seen bits and pieces of it, but the most infamous, famous scene from this movie at the very beginning, when you see him and he's trying to get this one piece of treasure, but then the whole place is like a booby trap, haywires, and he's being chased by that big giant rock. I mean, that's the most iconic image from movies in general. Everybody knows that image, the silhouette of Indiana Jones. How many times has that been parodied or copied or spoofed or redone? Because like I said, Indiana Jones is a likable character, is a badass type character, but he's afraid of snakes. And the one moment where he gets lowered down and dropped into that room, basically a snake pit, that was actually kind of scary. And that brings me to a point that this movie is PG. It's rated PG, like, how? You watch this now, and I know that the guidelines for that were different back in the 70s and 80s because PG-13 wasn't invented yet. It was only PG and rated R, nothing in between. So, sure, you could see why this made it PG for some reasons, but then when you get to points where people are being shot in the head, people are being stabbed, like you're seeing a lot of this stuff, when they get surrounded by like dead corpses of people who I guess didn't make it out of these traps. That's horrifying. And a moment at the end where you see a bunch of people skin melting. I cannot believe that this wasn't rated R. There's a Nazi monkey. And I admit, normally I don't really like monkeys in movies, chimpanzees. They're there to be goofy and over the top, and to me that's not funny. But this particular monkey was a dick. And you had Alfred Molina at the very beginning with Indiana Jones tagging along with him. A very young Alfred Molina, so that was cool. And also, the budget on this movie is $18 million. How is that possible? This movie, the cinematography, just everything that went on with the sets and the designs and all the practical effects that's in it, that's amazing. Sure, you might have an occasional one or two scenes where the matte paintings in the background looks a little dated, but still, I can't believe that was the budget. What more can I say about Indiana Jones that hasn't already been said from lifelong fans? I can't pretend to be a lifelong fan, but I can say now that I'm gonna start watching these movies, I can't believe it took me this long. But yes, awesome. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below, you know what, not only what do you think of this movie, but who do you like better as a Harrison Ford character? Han Solo or Indiana Jones? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.